par rapport au bilan prévisionnel de la société.
Often darkly funny or downright shocking, road safety ads across Europe all have the same aim: stop people from getting killed on the streets. Whether it's drunk driving, forgetting your helmet or seatbelt, or texting from behind the wheel, we're constantly reminded to be careful. But how much of it is really in our hands? This weekly, the big question is, can we really get to zero road deaths? EU's 27 club is far from a monolith. That means brushing off a few well-worn cliches, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. When it comes to road safety, headlines change depending on where you are. In some places, it's a spike in bike-car collisions that's making noise, but zoom out a little and you'll see cycling still just a small slice of how many people actually get around. Elsewhere, it's the usual suspects: car crashes, reckless driving, lighting up the stats and setting off alarm bells. Different roads, same mess. And cars, still the most dangerous way to get around in Europe. On average, across the 27 EU member states, they caused 35 times more fatal accidents than trains. And about those cliches, cars and reckless driving, you might assume certain countries are the worst offenders, especially if we believe stereotypes, which of course we shouldn't. But as we're going to find out, the countries with the highest accident rates aren't always the ones you'd expect. In 2023, there were 20,400 motor-related deaths on European roads. That's an average of 46 deaths per million EU inhabitants. But some countries suffer more traffic deaths than others. Bulgaria holds the unfortunate record for the deadliest roads in Europe with 82 annual deaths per million inhabitants. The next deadliest are Romania, Latvia, and Croatia. Sweden wins the award for the safest roads with 22 deaths per million inhabitants, followed by Denmark, Malta and Finland, with Germany not far from the top of the class. Among the EU's more populous nations, France and Italy see higher than average motor-related deaths for the EU. That's compared to Spain, which is up there with some of the safest countries. While even one traffic death is one too many, roads have been getting safer. The year 1991 saw 172 deaths per million inhabitants on European roads, roughly 4 times the 2023 number, 46.
Einerseits ist die Straßeninfrastruktur natürlich immer verbessert worden. Ja, man denkt noch, früher ist man gegen ein Tunnelportal direkt dagegen gefahren. Die Wahrscheinlichkeit, dann getötet zu werden, war sehr hoch. Jetzt gibt es fast überall Anpralldämpfer. Und dann ist natürlich ein wesentlicher Punkt, und das sind die Kfz. Sie werden natürlich immer sicherer. Wir haben angefangen mit Airbag, mit ABS und jetzt mittlerweile mit Fahrerassistenzsystemen. Und hier ist natürlich ein sehr, sehr hohes Potenzial. Man denkt nur dran, wenn man wirklich alle Fahrerassistenzsysteme eingebaut hätte und auch verwenden würde, könnten 50% aller Pkw und 22% aller Lkw-Unfälle positiv beeinflusst werden. Und dann gibt es noch einen Punkt für den Rückgang, und das ist natürlich die Medizin.
There are a lot of reasons why road safety numbers vary so much from one country to another. Some of it's structural, some of it's economic, familiar bumps in the road. But then there's driver behaviour, and here's where we have to rethink a few cliches: speeding, phones, alcohol. The VIAS Institute surveyed people across 22 European countries, and what they found might surprise you. 79% of Luxembourgers and Finnish and 71% of Latvians admit to regularly driving over the speed limit on motorways. Mobile phone usage while driving is the second most common risky behaviour, with 44% of Latvians and Finnish admitting to regularly committing this offence. Studies show that the chances of getting into an accident increase 5-fold when making a handheld call while driving, and 23-fold when texting while driving. When it comes to alcohol, 37% of Luxembourgers have confessed to occasionally getting behind the wheel after a drink in the last month. As for Greek drivers, 28% say they regularly drive without seatbelts. Not exactly a gold star for Latvia. Turns out they're some of the most dangerous drivers. So yeah, we're still a long way from hitting the EU's big goal: 0 deaths by 2050. The codename is Vision Zero, which sounds like a Bond film, but it's actually a pretty neat idea. One of the most debated ways to get there? Lower speed limits. Would you believe Germany doesn't have a speed limit for over 70% of its motorway, the Autobahn? That's in part due to a strong car culture, amongst other reasons. Then there's alcohol. In the UK, the legal alcohol limit is 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath. Last year, fatalities in drink-drive collisions reached their highest level in more than a decade. Some things are already harmonised across the EU, 50 kilometres per hour in cities, seat belts for everyone, basic stuff, but there's still a long road ahead. On April 24th, the Commission rolled out a fresh batch of proposals, including mandatory annual inspections for cars over 10 years old. All of it part of a long game to get to Vision Zero.
Politisch ist ganz wichtig, und hier ist auch die Stärke der EU, dass man hier wirklich Vorgaben setzt, die auch für alle europäischen Länder gelten. Und natürlich umso besser diese Infrastrukturrichtlinien sind, die EU-Infrastrukturrichtlinien, umso sicherer wird es dann in allen Ländern auch werden, weil dort ist es dann auch umzusetzen. Auch, dass alle ähnliche Führerscheinausbildungen haben. Also das EU-Ziel, die Verkehrstoten auf europäischen Straßen von 2020 auf 2030 zu halbieren, erscheint durchaus in Reichweite und möglich, wenn alle Länder auch dementsprechend umsetzen. Das Ziel der EU, bis 2050 keine Verkehrstoten zu haben, das kann durchaus passieren, nämlich vor allem dann, wenn dann auch wirklich die autonomen Fahrzeuge kommen, und das wird uns schon weiterhelfen.
The European Court of Auditors isn't buying into the optimism. In a 2024 report, they basically said the EU's pipe dream of cutting road deaths by half by 2030, more like 25% if we're lucky. So what now? Speed, booze, texting, nodding off behind the wheel. It's almost always human error, but maybe that's the point. What if it takes something not human, something like AI, to actually fix it? With automated emergency braking, drowsiness monitoring, autonomous driving capabilities, and more such features, artificial intelligence is taking on a bigger role in the driving experience, and more motor-related vehicle deaths are declining as a result.
Man schätzt, dass ungefähr 70% aller Auffahrunfälle, wenn alle Fahrzeuge entsprechend so eine automatische Notbremsung integriert hätten, vermieden werden könnten bei den Auffahrunfällen. Also da ist durchaus sehr viel Potenzial dahinter.
As AI has developed, it's likewise relieved drivers of more than a few responsibilities behind the wheel. Experts have identified 5 levels of automation in cars. Level 1 is driver assistance with automatic braking and cruise control to relieve the feet of a lot of work. Level 2 is partial automation, meaning the car can take over functions such as changing lanes so as to free up the hands to a considerable degree. In both levels 1 and 2, the driver is still required to control the vehicle. After that is when things really start to heat up. Levels 3 and 4 involve conditional and high automation such that the car can drive itself, even in heavy traffic. So drivers no longer need to keep their eye on the road and can do something else. They do need to be prepared, however, to take over driving functions when needed. Level 5 is full automation, where the vehicle no longer has a human driver, as seen in California. For level 3 to 5, car companies are liable in case of accidents.
Der Stand der Technik ist heute, dass wir im Wesentlichen irgendwo zwischen Stufe 2 und Stufe 3 der Automatisierung stehen. Stufe 3 heißt im Wesentlichen, der Fahrer wird aus der Verantwortung entbunden für einen ganz speziellen, für ganz spezielle Situationen, die auftreten können. Und die reduzieren sich zumindest in Europa heute auf Autobahnfahrten bei nicht allzu hohen Geschwindigkeiten, also ein sehr, reduziertes Wirkfeld. Ansonsten ist immer noch der Fahrer entsprechend in der Pflicht, das gesamte Geschehen auch zu verantworten und damit einzugreifen, wenn irgendetwas passiert.
According to a study from global consulting firm McKinsey, AI could help reduce the number of car accidents 80% by 2030. But in order for that to happen, drivers would need to feel comfortable entrusting their lives to AI. In 2017, the Ethics Commission on Automated and Connected Driving in Germany stated that one sufficient proof was presented demonstrating that vehicle automation could improve road safety, meaning driverless technologies could become vital. Let's be honest, until the day our cars start driving themselves and actually get it right, we've got no choice but to stay sharp. Want to see how things can get between cars and bikes? Watch the ARTE regarding documentary Bike Accidents in Germany. It's on arte.tv and YouTube. It's not pretty, but it's real and it matters. Take care out there and drive safe.